Welcome everyone to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. I'm solo today, but I do have a special guest, and my guest is no other than SCW Steve. That's right, the man of the hour. This guy is famous. What's up, Steve?
I'm feeling that fame from you, Bobby. Thank you very much for having me on, man. It's great to be back on the show.
Yo, man, thank you. You are always welcome here. Always, always, always. And you always have your insights on wrestling and of all types of wrestling promos. But this one particular, we're going to be talking about Money to Bank and maybe possibility what could we see for SummerSlam. You're listening to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. Please visit the website HHWShow.com. You could follow us on every social media platform. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter. And for Steve, you can subscribe to his channel. It's SCW Wrestling on his YouTube channel. Like I said, he covers all kinds of wrestlings. He got questions and answers, interviews. Look, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. I've been subscribing to him for the last 3 years since I started my podcast. So please go ahead and subscribe to his channel. And we're going to start real quick. About a week and a half ago, we got the taste of SummerSlam. And it is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And that's going to happen on July 30th. And I would like to know more about what do you feel about this match, Steve? Because rumors were speculating that it was supposed to be Randy Orton. And then now that he might possibly have surgery or go to physical therapy about his back, they brought in Brock Lesnar. So how do you feel about this?
They've hit the panic button again, haven't they? That's pretty much the gist, really, at this particular time. With regards to everything, like the match is going to be good. It's last man standing. Like the match type feels like this should be a finale. But I have to be honest with you, Ovi. I feel I've seen this song and dance too many times before. I don't think it's fresh and way. We get something to break this up, whether it's a Money in the Bank cash in, whether it's a triple threat match. You know, I've seen people suggest the idea: what if Drew McIntyre was to get involved? What if Bobby Lashley was there? Seth Rollins, obviously, with a Money in the Bank. That would be awesome to just freshen this up a little bit because we've seen this song and dance previously. I would have loved to have seen Roman versus Randy. It would have been, something different. Many years since we've last seen it. Riddle had a great showing on SmackDown not long ago, but I think he's looking to be in a different direction now. So I have to wait and see how it's going to go. But there's no doubt, I'm sure these two will bring it. They will deliver on the night. But I do feel a little bit like there was this past week on SmackDown, we did have nothing else to kind of build it up once the match was made. There was no Brock in the house, no Roman in the house. I don't know how you feel. Do you feel we could end up with not so much build with this between now and SummerSlam?
I feel like this main event is kind of flat, but then again, we're so much concentrating on Money to Bank pay-per-view that I feel like maybe that buildup will start afterwards, right? Yeah. So like that focus of like who is going to be, like I said, I think we're missing a few people for men and I think one other person for women for this ladder match. So it's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen. And we're going to talk more about that. But as far as what you said, yeah, we've seen this too many times. And I just feel like this might be a perfect opportunity for someone to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were flirting around saying that look, they're going to beat each other down. So that's going to give me a momentum to cash it in. And it's been done before. Kane did it. Yeah. They didn't take him long when he cashed in on Rey Mysterio. And then who knows? I mean, SummerSlam could happen. We've seen a couple of times. Randy Orton did it. I want to say, yeah, The Miz did it to Randy Orton. Randy Orton did it to Daniel Bryan with the help and assist of Triple H. So anything can happen, but I feel like something got to give because how long would you have Roman Reigns to hold two titles?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. The thing is now for me, I think we've got to a stage when Roman was full-time. I don't think it was an issue. I felt like, okay, we'll get more Roman. He might be a bit overexposed, but have him on Raw, have him on SmackDown, he'll bring those ratings up. Now he's signed that new deal. He's not anywhere. The only time he's expected on Raw is on the July 25th edition, which I believe is in Madison Square Garden. So that's the MSG show, which I think Ronda Rousey will be there as well. Remains to be seen if they'll be on camera for that show or not, or if it's just to get people to get bums in seats. But I think, again, that goes the same with the SummerSlam main event. It's to get bums in seats, to get the casuals in. I don't think it's really focused on people like you or me. I think people go, we know Brock, we know Roman, that's why we're going to do it. So I think that's the scenario. But I think to play it round with Roman, I think 1 belt, maybe 2, needs to be dropped soon. If you're going to be part-time and you're not going to be around, those championships are damaged when Roman's not on TV, because Roman's already making those titles. It used to be the other way around. So, I think there's a great video right now on YouTube. If you don't mind me giving a plug to another channel.
Go right ahead.
Rated R for Wrestling has just come back in. He'd gone through a big hiatus. He'd sadly had to take some time away, but he's now back. And his first video back was how championships don't mean anything in WWE right now. The superstars are not getting anything from being champions, and those championships don't mean anything to begin with. So I think it's a very good video. I recommend people to go to check that out. And I think some great points made in it right now, because, I mean, right now, if Roman's not on TV, get the belts off of him, mix it up, change it up, give superstars the right platform to build their names as champion and help give those championships some prestige, because the same song, the same dance, you just said there, that main event for SummerSlam, it's flat. People are going to get bored, and we don't want boring in WWE. We want that fun factor.
Absolutely. And especially that fun factor that happened during AEW pay-per-views. And, everyone's talking about it, but then you got WWE. Once again, we have the same main event, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, they will perform. We're going to get our seats up, and we're going to eat our popcorns, drink whatever, beer, soda, whatever it is. We're going to watch it, but we're just curious to see, will something happen? And of course, there's going to be a lot of rumors, speculations. I can't stand these rumors, but I love predictions. All right. And my prediction is I'm all in when it comes to cashing in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam at the conclusion of the main event. But speaking about pay-per-views and everything else, we got the Money in the Bank. And so far right now, the match cards, we have Carmella, who sneaked in there to get that a title shot versus Bianca Belair. I think this is a fill-in, to be honest with you. Rhea Ripley supposedly had a medical condition or whatever it is. I think maybe they're doing a concussion protocol. It's hard to tell when no one knew what was going on, and all of a sudden she's not medically cleared. So I'm taking it this, and this is my assumption. I don't know the facts. It's just my opinion. I feel like they kind of rushed it, and I think they're saving that for SummerSlam.
I completely agree with you, Ovi. 100%. I think that, like you say, this now is filler. I'm glad Carmella's back on TV, though. I will say that, because Carmella's been missing for a while. She has something she can always offer to the game. So I'm pleased she came in and she's got the opportunity. The only thing is, though, it does feel a level down because she's been away from TV for so long. And we saw this match so many times last summer. Like you say, I think this is a fill-in. Bianca's definitely retaining, and hopefully we'll get Bianca versus Rhea when she can come back. And like you say, hopefully that's at a SummerSlam. That's a big time match for SummerSlam. Obviously, the two sort of shining faces outside of that sort of 4 horsewomen, if you will, Bianca and Rhea. That's a big time showdown right there.
Absolutely, and especially now Rhea's with Judgment Day, that something's got to give, because they got so much visual on them, right? That I'm always leaning to Rhea Ripley that she's going to take that title away soon.
I wouldn't be against that.
Right. Now we got Theory versus Lashley for the United States Championship. I feel like the Theory, it's over for Theory. If it seems right, we're going to find out on Monday Night Raw if Theory's going to go against Cena for SummerSlam. And if that's the case, it might be a distraction, because there goes Bobby Lashley. He wants a title. And I was just surprised that he was not involved in the Money in the Bank, at least both of them. I thought it would have been awesome. But then again, I do like it that the United States title is being defended.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel the predictions video that I thought both would be in the men's match. That wasn't to be the case. It's good to see, though, the United States title being defended. A worthy challenger in Bobby Lashley. People say these mid-card titles not being taken seriously. Well, here's proof that one of them certainly is now being taken more seriously. Theory, for me, like you say, he could be in danger here. This is the match at the moment I'm most unsure of the entire card, because usually I like the go-home show to make that full decision. We haven't had that as of yet. So, but I'm with you. If Theory and Cena is booked for SummerSlam, that distraction could be there, although I would like Theory to walk in as US champion against John Cena, because, for me, Theory is that next level. Bobby Lashley's in his mid-40s. we need to start pushing the fresh young talent towards the top of the card. Theory, for me, has got the tools to be a top guy for many, many years. A lot of people compare Theory to Cena. Not a bad comparison at that age. I always considered him a young Randy Orton. I've seen some mirrored images throughout both of their careers in the early stages. But like you say, to compare to either guy, both of those guys have been two of the top stars of the last 20 years, had celebrations after them. Theory, for me, has got it all going for him. But Money in the Bank, this could be a tough one because Bobby Lashley, let's be fair, it doesn't matter if it's a pose down, a pose off, or a straight up fight. Bobby Lashley always brings it. So, Theory could be in trouble this Saturday.
But we're moving on to the SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. I feel like this one also is similar to the Raw Women's Championship. Natalya at this stage and everything else, I just don't see it. But sometimes when you don't see it, that's when Natalya is at her best. She's won the title before unexpectedly. Can this happen again?
Absolutely. No, I completely agree, Ovi. I mean, this one seems obvious all day, doesn't it? That Ronda Rousey will retain her championship. They've done their best to make what they can of this feud. I do think people maybe should be a bit more positive about the match. These two had a great match on Monday Night Raw during Ronda's first run. I think it was around December time, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember this match really went outside the ring. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, wow, this is a great technical match. The only thing is this time round, obviously, I don't think Ronda's had as good of run in WWE. Like, people aren't on board with it. I think people want to see things freshened up. Ronda is much more suited to be a heel. I think a mouthpiece would be great for her as well, even though the insults were quite fun this past week on SmackDown. But what I would say is that this would be a great place for a Money in the Bank cash-in as well. We mentioned this earlier on with the SummerSlam main event. This happened to Ronda at Money in the Bank back in I believe Nia Jackson, and was cashed in on by Alexa Bliss, who won the briefcase earlier in the evening. Should someone, I mean, I'm just speculating, she's not in the match in a minute, Ovi, so don't shoot the messenger. If Becky Lynch gets in that match, gets Money in the Bank, and then actually cashes in on Ronda instead of Bianca, and we start building between Ronda and Becky for WrestleMania next year, how fun could that be if Ronda was the vulnerable champion once again? Because she's been cashed in on once before at this event.
I like what you're thinking there. I really do. However, I'm going to hold my thoughts because we will talk about this ladder match. We will.
Yes.
Absolutely. And before we do, we got one more championship to discuss, and that is the Unification Tag Team Championship between the Usos and the Street Profits. Now, my vision here, I don't think that this match will actually conclude with a pinfall, to be honest with you. I think something's going to happen to protect the Street Profits. I think this may go on till SummerSlam. However, we got the Viking Raiders that are heel. Could they make that push to have the Viking Raiders versus the Usos? I'm not sure what angle this whole thing is, especially that the tag team division on both sides, men and women, are just so weak right now. They need something. We can't expect a New Day because the New Day can't go against the Usos anymore. But something has to happen. And I don't think right now the Street Profits will not get it done.
I think you could be on something here. I mean, the Usos aren't dropping their belts here. That's one thing for sure. I think this is going to be a fantastic match between these two teams. I would happily see this go down at SummerSlam if it was to happen again. But like you said, the Viking Raiders, were meant to have the match at the Elimination Chamber earlier this year in Saudi Arabia. And of course, that got taken away from them. That's when they were squeaky clean baby faces. New attitude, new differences. Maybe things may be different this time around. The New Day, like you say, they've been there before. Why don't we have more than one team go against the Usos at SummerSlam? Because one thing I would say is, and this is just a big if here, as we talked about SummerSlam earlier, is to do it first. If the Usos do it first, the pressure goes on the tribal chief, because when they become vulnerable, then what happens to Roman? That's the key here. So do the Usos lose one title here, or do they do it at SummerSlam? I say it happens at SummerSlam, but you could even have, because they have both belts, they have both, or championships, titles, whatever WWE wants to call them, they can go on Raw and SmackDown. So one have the Street Profits, the New Day, and the Viking Raiders, one or both of those championships could make a lot of sense. You could even do like they did at WrestleMania 2000, where there's 2 pinfalls, one for the Raw Tag Team titles and one for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. First pinfall gets one title, second pinfall gets the other. Certainly could be an idea.
I like that. I never thought about that. That just blew my mind over there. Listen, all is good right there, but the one thing that I do agree with you is that in order to get to Roman Reigns, you got to take out the Usos. And that, my friend, is going to happen. When? Hard to tell, but it's not going to happen next Saturday. I guarantee you that. We have 6 female superstars are in. 1 is left. Now, this was my prediction. Okay. And like always, every year they have a second chance match. And I feel like those second chance match may happen on Monday Night Raw. And right now, Lacey Evans was the first one. Raquel, Asuka, you have Liv and Alexa Bliss, that tag team made it in. And then you have my favorite, Shotzi. She is my favorite. Since the beginning that she debuted at NXT, I was like, this is the chick. This is the one. But you, like we mentioned already, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to make it. She is going and qualify, and she will qualify the ladders match.
It's on the poster.
She's on the poster, but then again, just because you're on the poster doesn't mean you're going to win all the way. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not picking Becky Lynch to win the ladder match.
Who have you got?
Okay, here we go. Everyone's going to jump on Liv Morgan. But how many times have we been disappointed that Liv Morgan does not win a championship? That's going to continue. Alexa Bliss just got back. And she hasn't really have that fire of jumping in for a rivalry match. Asuka, she's lost matches, okay? And yeah, she won the last over Becky Lynch just to qualify, but she's lost more than victory. Raquel's a newbie, and I just don't like her gimmick. Her gimmick is not the same as NXT. And then you got Lacey Evans that everyone wants to feel sorry for her past and everything else. I don't even think she's gonna last as a babyface. I think she'll turn heel right away. The only person that I see that could have a chance, it's Shotzi, only because she had an extravaganza match versus Ronda Rousey, right? And she did an awesome job. Finally, she got out of that jobber stuff, and she had a great match. And I feel like this is her opportunity right here to win the briefcase. And at every given time, it doesn't matter who's the champion. She's going to take over.
I think you could be onto something. I mean, like you said, she's had a big rise in the last sort of couple of weeks. She's gone out of that jobber status. Obviously, that good showing against Ronda. She's now got herself a qualifying match that she won. So they must see something there to put her in the match. If you go back to that graphic, I agree with it. There is a number of people. I mean, I don't say Becky definitely wins this. I think she's the favorite. I am one of them people that wants Liv to win. I would say that's what I want to happen. But like you say, the story is there that we're supposed to feel sympathy for Liv. The time that she will get her moment and get that championship, it's going to be a big time deal and it's going to be a big time moment. I think Money in the Bank would assist it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be this year. She was my prediction before we even had qualifying matches. Alexa Bliss, you're right. She's just come back in, but I would turn around and say that with her, she needs something to get it going because there's not been a lot of character. And I think Money in the Bank could help shape a bit of character. Maybe it's a babyface. Maybe it's a heel. We'll have to wait and see what we get from it. I agree with Raquel. Maybe it's a bit too soon for Raquel, even though she also had a breakout match with Ronda Rousey, did well. Do you want to make a new star overnight? She would be a good choice. Asuka, if you look at her, she won Money in the Bank previously and she was given a championship. How would it be if she had to then cash it in this time? How would it work second time round? It's a good, interesting idea of a story if they want to go down that avenue. Shotzi, like we said there, it's a potential breakout moment. Lacey Evans is an interesting one for me because, sometimes with Money in the Bank, you can go with what you think is the obvious. There's always that. I every year would say, the most obvious one is going to win it, and I pick that person. Then it's someone else. I mean, go back to 2011, Daniel Bryan won in a ladder match, which I thought was definite way Barrett was going to win it. And Daniel Bryan was one of those that you thought, I didn't see that coming. And I think even the crowd didn't believe at the time. We got a big hype and a big pop for it. Lacey Evans could be one of those because she could be someone that, WWE put a lot of stock in, a lot of video packages, like you said, with the backstory and stuff like that. There were rumors she was going to be a heel at one point. Well, what better way to be a heel than cash in Money in the Bank on what they presume to be a top babyface? So that could be an idea they might want to go down with that feel-good moment to begin with winning the briefcase and then turning on fans. So this is not so straightforward for me. I think if you look at the combatants in the women's to the men's, this one is less obvious, but I do feel in the back of my head that Becky Lynch does make the most sense, purely Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania somehow. And I'm always bored now of seeing the Royal Rumble being the place that they do it because the Royal Rumble match could go to a different star. Money in the Bank was supposed to do something with WrestleMania, according to that first advert from Cody Rhodes, if we are to believe that. So I will stay with Becky. But as I say, I think 5 women here could win this match.
Let's take a look at the men's real quick. So far, my prediction was off because I had Riddle originally on the far left, okay? But almost surprised me, almost won his match. And I'm like, okay, why him? What did he do to deserve, where he's at? But then there's MVP, and whatever he says, somehow he knows how to manipulate the system for him. But Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn was pretty the obvious one because who else will be there to try to protect Roman Reigns, supposedly? Okay. And then Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, both of them all-stars. I mean, there's some heavy favorites here. My originally pick was Seth Rollins. That was my originally pick. And all because he didn't have anything. He doesn't have a storyline. He took out Cody Rhodes. What's left for Seth Rollins? Well, I tell you this, he is the only one that's putting pressure on Roman Reigns. He's the only one that could defeat Roman Reigns. Now, we never saw what happened in Madison Square Garden, okay? We didn't see that. And I think Seth Rollins being there against Roman Reigns was a filler because Big E got hurt. So Seth Rollins wins the Money in the Bank, but then here's the wild card. Should Riddle get the second chance and get in here, he has to be in this. Okay. Could Riddle win the briefcase? And then on top of everything else, you got Kevin Owens that is not in it yet. And then you have Ezekiel. Could they have a qualifying match tonight? Two people got to get in today on Monday Night Raw. Who do you think will fill in the slot? Who are your 2 superstars?
I would like Riddle and Kevin Owens, particularly the 3 you've put there, but I don't see who else fills the spot. I completely agree with you, by the way. I don't understand why Omos is in this match. And the only reason I think of this, they're going to do a big show with Omos, I think. I think you could find where maybe he puts a foot on the ladder because maybe it's just, they're saying this thing, he can stand and reach it. He's going to realize it's just out of his reach. So if he puts like a leg on the ladder, it breaks through where he's so big, such a giant. So I can see like this could be the year that we see like that extended big ladder thing being brought back once again and seeing almost being buried under about 20 ladders.
Yes.
Why he's there. Otherwise, I don't know why he's there because it's a bad idea in my eyes in principle. But you make a lot of sense when you talk about Seth Rollins. I think that is definitely the avenue you could go down. Sami Zayn, just from storyline purposes, made so much sense to be in Money in the Bank this year. I think even winning it could be even more fun because then it's like, well, do you cash in or do you not? And then it's obviously how much loyalty does he have for Roman at the end of the day? Can we turn him baby? I'd like that to happen if we could. But as well, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus would be good. Drew, especially for Clash of the Castle. If Roman went, well, you could put your challenge out for being in the UK, but I'm not going all the way over there. I don't need to travel that far. I'm on the island of relevancy. Money in the Bank, you've got to be there. I'm telling you, you've got to be there. So, Sheamus, I think, is a great hand, but I don't see him winning it. Riddle was my pick at the start of the year. I did a video predicting it like in January. I could hold it for a while. And then, I did this for Randy. Randy then returns and then turns on Riddle. I don't know, it's just a bit of fun for fantasy booking purposes. Kevin Owens,
man. I
I love it.
You
I
know
love a
what?
bench
I've
warmer.
heard it, and I said that. I was like, Randy Orton does not last long with a tag team partner. I know, I got you, but it just something's different that I
Mhm.
don't see how Randy could turn on his back when he admitted in front of everybody that he's never used the F word before,
Mm.
and he used the word friend.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
never heard that from anybody. And saying that he has so much fun and everything else. I know he wants a retribution. I know he wants revenge against Roman Reigns and the Usos. But you got Riddle fighting by himself really to get that redemption. But hey, I know you had Riddle. I had Riddle. I saw the future. I thought I saw the future, but I didn't. But would it not be surprised if Seth Rollins was reaching for the ladder match? I mean, for the ladder, got on top of the ladder by grabbing the briefcase simultaneously. Riddle smacks him or hits him, so he fall off the ladder, and then Riddle grabs that briefcase and he wins.
I'd love it. I'd love it for my January prediction, certainly. But
So stay with that prediction. But then
exactly.
again, we're hoping that he gets in, right? He got to get in first.
He's got to get in first.
Mhm.
But the thing is, like you said there, if Riddle proves he can move on without Randy, even if he's dedicating stuff, Randy
Mhm.
could get jealous. My friend moved on. My friend didn't contact me as much as I should have been contacted. Well, why was you not by my side? You went to go and try and win against Roman for me, and you lost. It's like
Mm.
it's all that stuff that goes in it. But for me, at this particular moment, I would say though, with the stipulation thing, Riddle's not meant to challenge Roman anymore. So for him to actually win Money in the Bank and then cash it on Roman also doesn't make storyline logic to me. But I would like him in the match because Riddle, if he's not in this match, he's not on this premium live event. He needs to be on the premium live event. Kevin Owens
Absolutely.
as well. Kevin Owens, just to say very quickly, I think to get him back to the big time needs Money in the Bank because Kevin Owens, for me, deserves to be more than a one-time world champion. People will say whether they liked it or not previous when he was Universal Champion, but that Goldberg loss still hurts him to this day. And until he wins that championship again, he's not going to actually get that off his shoulders. And I think Money in the Bank would be a perfect one to do for him because he's the sort of character that worked really well with the Money in the Bank briefcase as well. But I have to go with you. I think Seth is the favorite in this match.
Okay. Kevin Owens, I like it. If you cancel out Seth Rollins, you cancel out Riddle, you have two jealous people going after each other, which is Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Hmm.
Sami Zayn is afraid of going head to head, supposedly. Then you got Omos, who is, again, I just see everyone attacking him and getting him out of the way. Kevin Owens, man, he would be, especially when you had a WrestleMania moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You deserve it. I'm sorry, you deserve it.
Mm,
Absolutely.
mm.
Yeah. Oh man, this is phenomenal. I can't wait. Um, this is great, man. I'm telling you, this is absolutely great. But hey, Steve, I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for your input and your insight, and I'm gonna take that with me to our regular Tuesday nights with Frank and Hector, and let's see what type of predictions we're gonna have because you know what, I need to get back into the winning streak here. So, thanks, Coach.
No worries. Thank you for having me. Do you know what I have to say? It's
Mhm.
been too long since we've collaborated. It's been so much fun to be a part of this again. And how dare life get in the way? That's all I can say. It's great to be back on the HHW show, and much love to you, to your viewership as well. Like
Mhm.
it's so great to see how your channel's been growing as well. I've seen the subscriber count is going up massively as well recently. So props to you and to Hector, to Frank. You're all doing fantastic work, and keep it up on the HHW show. And great interview as well last week.
I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. It means a lot. And I got a lot to thank you. So you've been blasting our podcast and we've been sharing back and forth. And for all the viewers, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Steve. I will put his up once again. Steve, the SCW Wrestling channel. You don't want to miss it. You got great content. Again, opinions, questions and answers, interviews, predictions, reviews, all that and much, much more. Please subscribe to his channel. And once again, you're listening to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show sponsored by the CMG Sports Podcast Network. Tune in on Tuesday night when we have our final prediction of Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I'm Over News with my special guest, Steve. Take care, everyone. Until next time, let's go.